Right, today we're going to cook a roast beef joint in the halogen oven, and I'm looking forward to that. Now if you want vegetables to accompany it, I've got my potatoes already there to boil, parboil, and I've got my veg all in the steamer, and I've popped my beef onto the scales because I need to know how much it weighs before I start cooking. Right, I'm going to use a cold halogen oven to put it in, 210 degrees Celsius. You're going to pop that on, you're going to put your beef in there and cook for 20 minutes. Doing that, the temperature of the oven's heating at the same time as the temperature of the beef, and it tenderises it slightly. So that's why I cook it from cold. Then you add 20 minutes per pound of cooking time, or 445 grams. You can see I'm struggling with the pounds and kilograms. Alright, so it's 20 minutes per pound, or if you want it in kilograms, it's almost half a kilogram. Right, you want to season your beef a little bit to give it flavour, but don't use salt because that means that the juices run away and it won't be as tender and moist. So just season it. I've got a little bit of black pepper here, just all the way round. Alright, and I'm also going to use my famous seasonal because I just love that. And I'm going to cook my roast potatoes with mine, so you'll see at what point I put them in. If you don't want to cook your roast potatoes, you just want to cook your joint, then pop it into a roasting tray and then put it on a rack, just a single rack on the bottom. I'm going to cook the roast potatoes with mine, so I'm going to put mine straight into the cold halogen oven. So there's your seasoned beef going in. I use a little bit of lard or Trex and I just pop it on the top of it. Don't need any racks or anything. I'm just going to sit there, don't worry about all of that, that will just all go and melt off. Pop that into a cold halogen oven, 210 degrees, and you're going to cook that for 20 minutes. And then I'm going to cook it a further 20 minutes per pound, so I need to cook it for a further 40 minutes. But after the first 20 minutes, you reduce your heat down to 180. So the first 20 minutes cooked from cold at 210, then cooked each pound a further 20 minutes. So in my case, because it was £2, it needs a further 40 minutes on the reduced heat. So let's start off, it's at 210, and that's going to be for 20 minutes. Right, I'm not turning the beef yet, it will be turned halfway through the cooking time, and you need to determine that from the weight of your beef. For me, it's in another 20 minutes because my beef was £2, as you saw. So therefore, I'm going to give it a further 20 minutes, reduce the heat to 180. That is now going to cook, and at this point, I'm going to pop my potatoes on, ready to parboil them to put in. You can see all the juices running away. Some people like to use those for gravy, that's perfectly alright. If you do, you probably wouldn't want to put as much lard or fat on as I have. But then you might want to cook it in a roasting tin. Do cook it in a roasting tin, use the lower rack so the heat can generate and come up underneath. Right, that's had 20 minutes now, so now I'm going to turn it over. So we do the other side and cook for 20 more minutes, and then you add the final 20 minutes cooking time on at the end. I'll put a little bit more oil in, because I've got my potatoes here that are parboiled, ready to go in. They've been boiled, distress them a little bit, and then pop them in, cover them with oil, and start cooking again. So you can see I've dropped the potatoes in, and what I do is I make sure they're all covered in the oil, and look at these juices that are coming out of the beef. Turn them over, and then that is all going into your potato. That's why I like to cook them this way. So they all need to be covered now with oil, and then I can continue cooking. So that's now the cooking time is recommended at 20 minutes a pound, and you see those potatoes are coming on beautifully. I'm now just going to baste everything, get all those fats over everything, all over this, and then give it its last 20 minutes of cooking time. And then when I turn this back on, because we rest our beef for 20 minutes, then when I turn this back on, if I turn my steamer on for 40 minutes, it should all be cooked at the same time. So there's our beef cooked there, probably slightly darker there than I'd like, but no worries, we can cut that little piece off. We could have covered it with some parchment paper, but I wanted the potatoes to get crispy and I thought it would get in the way. So that's just one thing you need to watch out for. Okay, if you want to check if it's cooked or how you like it cooked, then obviously you know that's what you're gonna be popping one of those in. But it's not much to worry about. That's exactly how I like it. So now that's going to go onto a plate in some foil to rest for 20 minutes. Right, our beef's resting for 20 minutes. Here are our potatoes, looking absolutely gorgeous. I'm now going to turn them over. I'm going to turn it back up to 200 degrees. And we've got 20 minutes on the steamer, so everything should be ready around about the same time, and we can get the beef sliced, ready to go on the plate towards the end of this cooking time. Right, we have 5 minutes to go. The meat is rested. The Yorkshire puddings, cheap ones, frozen, are ready to go in, and over here we have the beef being cut. While the gravy is making, 2 minutes before the end of cooking time, pop your frozen Yorkshires in, cheap's way, and they're all cooked, ready to go. How about that?
Righto everyone, so here we are, traditional roast beef dinner, done in the old halogen oven, and to perfection I may say. Looks lovely, and someone's got to test it, so you know, it might as well be me. I'll do the job, no problem. So just give it a little trial of the old beef there, and let's give it a go with a bit of collie. Of course it's fantastic. Okay, you know where to go for all our recipes, anything to do with the halogen oven. Of course we've got everything there at Derriton 33. You know where to go. Thanks very much for watching. Bye bye.